All right, hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is John Scruggs. I'm the manager of IT at Hobart Service in Troy, Ohio, and the chair of Technology First Infrastructure Cloud Special Interest Group. I'd like to extend a very warm welcome to each and every one of you here with us today at the 14th Annual Taste of IT. If you would, please join me in thanking our sponsors. At our diamond level, Cincinnati State. At gold, Cadre Checkpoint and Okta. At bronze, 8451, ComSpark CDO, CyberRabbit, Dell, Exagrid, Extreme Networks, Franklin University, Gigamon, Nexagen, Sinclair, and Smart Data. And to our annual partners, ATC, Affidance, CareSource, Cincinnati Bell, Google, Round Tower, University of Dayton, Wright State University, and Uptime. We couldn't do it without the support of all of these sponsors and annual partners. Thank you so much. Okay, let's get started. So if you would, join me in welcoming John Putnam, Ellen Miller, and Katie Meyer from Cincinnati Bell as they discuss a Dayton Roadmap, fiber expansion, smart city, and other applications for economic development. Team, take it away.
Thanks, John. Good afternoon, and welcome to a Dayton Roadmap, fiber expansion, smart city, and other applications for economic development and digital equity. My name is Ellen Miller, the Dayton Regional Development Director for Cincinnati Bell, and I would like to introduce our speakers for today. John Putnam, Director of Unicity, and Katie Meyer, our Unicity Policy and Program Manager. Unicity is Cincinnati Bell's recently branded Smart City practice. Cincinnati Bell and its partner company CBTS are headquartered in Cincinnati. Combined, they both have over 3,500 employees and have over 2,400 clients. Cincinnati Bell focuses on our fiber technology, and CBTS is our nationwide partner for our technology services and infrastructure. We also own Hawaiian Telecom, based in Honolulu, and Onyx is based in Canada and a worldwide leader in hardware sales. While that is great news and certainly propels us for the future, the exciting thing is our future expansion in the Dayton region. As you can see by the next slide, we are constantly giving back to the Dayton region. Here are just a few examples. Dayton Boys and Girls Club, a place close to my heart, we recently donated over $40,000 worth of technology, including cameras, access control, and increased Wi-Fi to certainly help it achieve the dream of becoming the club of the 21st century. During the tornadoes in Dayton of May of last year, we donated over 1,000 man-hours cleaning up certain parts of the Dayton region. We are big supporters of the Dayton Hoopla, Gem City Shine, to name just a few. With that, I would like to turn it over to John Putnam, who will begin to show how the power of fiber can do so much more than bring you connectivity. John?
Thanks, Ellen. And as Ellen said, we're going to talk today about our fiber expansion into the Dayton market and how that can drive economic development, digital equity, and growth within a community. So if you look at the general, the world as we see it today, we look at our first stage is to bring fiber into a community. Then we layer in our intelligent Wi-Fi for economic development, integrate cameras for public safety, offer high-speed internet to the businesses and the residents within the area served, and then ultimately leverage that fiber for digital equity initiatives. So we're going to use the Oregon District as a example for our conversation today. This is an area that we recently lit up with fiber. And have addressed each one of those 5 basic tenets as part of our expansion into the Dayton market. So as you can see from the case study, we worked with the Oregon District Business Owners Association on a deployment of Wi-Fi within the area and the fiber. So we're going to go ahead and talk a little bit more about that today. But first, I thought we would share a video that we produced that talks about the project in general.
Oh, we're not getting volume. I think the volume on the player itself. There you go.
Please hold. I forgot to click the button when I shared the content. So let me unshare. How's that?
Smart city means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. At Cincinnati Bell, we talk about smart cities as a foundation of fiber, Wi-Fi, hotspots, and access points, and then an engagement software package that rides on top of it that accomplishes a number of different goals depending on what part of the smart city solution you're trying to accomplish.
If you understand smart cities or smart venues, you know it's really an economic development, right? The ability to increase your business, the ability to enhance the business that you have, the ability to reach others. And I think that's critical for an area like Oregon District that is expanding outside of the downtown area. There is future development here, and I think it's critical for that development to take place.
Public Wi-Fi and the connectivity overall is so important to Dayton's growth. Even in this time of COVID, we see how important it is. Everything from people's doctor's visits to being able to get to your school is now done via the internet. And so having public access to Wi-Fi is really, really important to a city like Dayton.
You know, downtown in the Oregon District, we're a hub for entrepreneurship on so many different levels with the development of the arcade and other initiatives. And again, when you can walk from your place of work to your home, to your coffee shop or favorite brew pub, having that connectivity is really, really important. And of course, for the businesses themselves to have that high-speed internet and wireless helps grow businesses.
We have to think about Wi-Fi as we do our other utilities, right? You would not build a company anymore in a place that didn't have water and sewer, that didn't have electricity, and that's what Wi-Fi is now.
The Oregon District, it's a eclectic mix of very small businesses. So in order for them to do it on their own would be a real struggle, especially after some of the things that these businesses have been through. So for Cincinnati Bell to jump in and say, we're going to do this, it means a lot. It means a lot to the district, and it means a lot to downtown.
Just really bringing the neighborhood into the modern era and taking this neighborhood at the forefront of downtown Dayton's development. There's a lot going on here in Dayton, and we're really excited to be really at the forefront of it, and we appreciate Cincinnati Bell helping us get there.
For 47 years, I've called Dayton my home, and the excitement around Cincinnati Bell's growth into the Dayton region is second to none. We'll be bringing our next generation network, and as we grow, you'll continue to see a lot more of us. So look for our teams, look for our logo, and look for our community involvement along the way.
All right. Hope you enjoyed the video. As we talk about today, why fiber? You know, why bring fiber to a community? Well, first and foremost, it's our goal to deliver that high-speed internet into underserved areas, but into all areas within our service market. If you look at the state of Ohio, there's approximately 10.7% of the people that do not have access to high-speed internet, and within certain areas, those numbers are much higher. We've seen areas within the inner city that's 30-40%. So what we do is our game plan is to bring fiber into a community. We've spent $1 billion within the Cincinnati market, and now we're moving into the Dayton market and bringing that fiber into the Dayton market. So we are lighting up tens of thousands of doors this year, and look to do 5-10 times that next year within the Dayton market. And we use in the Oregon district as kind of a microcosm to talk about what we're going to do in terms of bringing fiber into a community and what that means to a community. Katie, you want to jump in and talk about the intelligent Wi-Fi and economic development part of the puzzle?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you, John. So, this presentation for the next 20 minutes or so is going to take that strategy that John outlined and go through each piece within that Oregon District microcosm. So that second piece, once the fiber is in the neighborhood, is, the utilization of intelligent Wi-Fi within a business district. And what we're really talking about is business district vibrancy. How can we leverage technology to improve sense of place, to help people connect with the businesses, with the events, with the programs, with the culture, and what does that look like? And in an instance like the Oregon District, what we've done is we've created that that Wi-Fi network within the district, which you would go to your phone or your tablet or device and connect to Oregon District free Wi-Fi. And our tools utilize a captive portal mechanism and onboarding technology so that the Oregon District Business Association can directly communicate with the visitors, the residents, the workers about upcoming programs and events, about wayfinding, how to navigate the district, anything from, what's going on with public transit to what are the latest restrictions on COVID. And so that technology, helps people navigate and understand the business district. But even more powerful in some cases are the insights or the analytics that are produced through the technology. With the Wi-Fi technology, we're able to understand the traffic patterns, the peak times, and some sentiment and demographic data on who visits the Oregon District and when they visit. We look at a business district like a business itself. It's all about supply and demand, and understanding when that supply and demand is, peaked is going to be really valuable for business retention and business attraction. So, that's how intelligent Wi-Fi becomes an economic development tool. It's not only about promotion and sense of place, it's about analytics to make strong business decisions. And, that is a tool that we're using in business districts across the region, and most recently in the Oregon District. And that's next to you, John.
Yeah, okay. And just to sum it up, I mean, we talk about this economic development piece is we use these tools to attract businesses because we can provide them with this information that they can't get any other place and in any of their competing places, and then to engage people and bring them into the community. So we really have both ends of that economic development, bringing more businesses in and then connecting them with people and bringing more people into the community. So once we have that economic development and that intelligent Wi-Fi piece in place, one of the next steps is to integrate cameras for public safety. So we're about to launch a rather unique program within the region that allows businesses to buy cameras from Cincinnati Bell through our Unicity program. So you're a local business within one of the communities that we serve. You buy cameras for your use, just like you would today, except that you're buying them from us, and they are a cloud-based camera solution. So the storage from those cameras is uploaded to the internet, and the business owners within that own those cameras are able to see their cameras and their businesses off of cloud-based storage and use them just as they are today for normal businesses. But what sets us program apart is now we, through a program from Genetech and their security center, make those same camera feeds available to the police department. So those camera feeds are not monitored real time. This is a investigative tool that allows the police department to go back and view these cameras after the fact, but to use them as an investigative tool and be able to solve crimes. So we did a proof of concept here in the city of Cincinnati, where we loaded the same solution and installed it at a gas station within over the Rhine area. And within the first week that we had these cameras installed, we were able to solve a violent crime of assault and robbery using those cameras. But now the business owner gets to see those cameras, but now the police were able to use those as an investigative tool and after the fact go in and solve a crime and put 3 perpetrators of a violent crime in jail. So if you look at this, the businesses are already buying cameras. They need them for their own, internal use. This, by them buying them and making the feeds available to the police department, it gives the police department expanded coverage area without having to invest a ton of money. They just have the Genetec instance of the software at their headquarters that they purchase. So it's a perfect public-private partnership where the private firms are buying the equipment and the software, and the police department is taking advantage of that and using it to make the community a safer community. So we talked earlier about bringing high-speed internet into the community and what that means for businesses. So if you look at many of the markets that we're entering into today, there is a single internet service provider or 2 internet service providers. But once we bring that internet service into a community, and when we talk about internet service, we're running fiber direct to the door. So you have incredible bandwidth and speed available. So what happens is, as soon as we come into the market, everyone lowers their prices and raises the speeds that they deliver. So now businesses have a competitive environment with incredibly fast internet, fiber run directly to their door that gives them the capabilities of doing so much more in terms of powering their businesses. Then from a residential standpoint, again, we're running fiber directly to the door. So, in the case of the Oregon District, just last month alone, we had 12 new businesses sign up for our internet service along the routes that we're servicing with our fiber. And then we have that whole residential community to the south of the Oregon District business district, where we're now running fiber direct to the door. So now think about all those people had very limited options before from a single provider. Now we're running fiber directly to the door. So now they have improved work from home options, which is certainly important these days as all of us are working from home. The ability to learn from home. So whether you're, grade school, that K through 12 market, or even, colleges, as most colleges are now, doing the homeschooling, way of connecting. You now have the bandwidth required for families. My wife is working upstairs. My daughter is going to school upstairs, and now I'm working with you guys on this presentation today. To have 3 or 4 people, using the system simultaneously, that fiber to the door is critical. And then, we talk about, from an entertainment standpoint, the increase in gaming and streaming of video. We do provide television services within the Cincinnati market, but we do not plan on doing that in the Dayton market because the way people are viewing entertainment is changing. With the incidence of Hulu and Hulu and Netflix and all the other services, a large percentage of people are now streaming. When you have 1 gig fiber connections to the door, it makes all of these things possible. Katie, anything to add to that?
No, that's great.
And let's talk about what has become the biggest part of our workload in Unicity these days, digital equity initiatives.
All right. So just to recap, we look at our Dayton Roadmap, our strategy as 5 pieces. You bringing fiber into the community, the application of smart city tools like intelligent Wi-Fi and camera solutions, fiber to the home, fiber to the business. And then, like John said, digital equity has become one of the most pressing issues in 2020. As we all know, working from home, distance learning, telehealth, all of these have become critical new needs within communities. And so when we talk about digital equity, we look at first, what are the barriers to internet access? And those barriers range from ability to pay, which you might think is the most predominant, but it's also, where does the infrastructure exist today? And you get deeper into some communities and you can find things like, underbanked or past debts with telecoms, credit scores. These issues are much deeper than a simple solution. So we've been really working closely with partners across the Dayton community to figure out how to solve the issues related to digital equity. And so, our solution is to leverage that fiber infrastructure to create public Wi-Fi networks within concentrated housing developments. So specifically, we've been working with Greater Dayton Premier Management to identify key locations where we can provide high-speed internet within the facilities that they have today. And so the way that this relates to the Oregon district is the fiber that we had built there now becomes an asset when we look at those housing developments, those housing communities that are in proximity or within the Oregon district. So by the end of this year, some hell or high water, we're going to be providing high-speed intelligent Wi-Fi to 875 units of Greater Dayton Premier housing facilities. And within the Oregon district, that is Park Manor, but additionally DeSoto Bass, Westdale Terrace, Fitch and Hawthorne, and Wilkinson. And so, what we're looking at there is leveraging that fiber to create that high-speed internet, but we look at it more holistically. What are the needs of the folks in these communities? And it is not only the access to the internet, but it's devices. So every single unit will be getting a brand new Chromebook where they will be able to use the Wi-Fi for these tools, as well as working with partners like CareSource to help leverage the intelligence of the Wi-Fi to communicate and support initiatives, mission-driven initiatives related to social determinants of health. And so we could not get to this end of digital equity and this level of partnership without that first, step of bringing fiber into the community. And I think I can speak for Ellen and John as well and say that we're very, very proud to be a part of the digital equity initiatives within Montgomery County.
So what sets Unicity and Cincinnati Bell apart is that we work with each community based on their needs. So, if you look at the 12 or 15 projects we've done in the last 6 to 8 months, each one is different and each one is unique based on the needs of a community. We've used the Oregon district as an example for this discussion because it encompassed, all 5 of those aspects that we talk about in as part of this, economic development and growth within a community. But each community is different. So our Unicity team sits down with a community and learns about what they're trying to accomplish. We look at the options that are available to that community and match those options up to what their needs are. Work with them to find funding. Design those solutions and build those solutions. And Cincinnati Bell and Unicity don't necessarily always have every single part of the required solution. So a lot of times we're bringing in partner companies. So, for example, with the cameras, that's a partnership with PCS, who does the camera installs, with Genetech and Access, who provide the hardware and software. So we're not limited to just the solutions we provide. We also have the ability to bring our partners in to solve these problems. But each one is individual, and we sit down and work with the community to find exactly what they need, find the solutions, find the funding, work with them to implement them, and then work on the next priorities. So in some communities it might start with an economic development within their downtown, expand into digital equity within public housing, and then move on to something is needed is flow-based traffic control to make sure that people are getting in and out of the community efficiently and reducing traffic jams. So we start with that process, identify those priorities, work through those, and then start at the beginning and with the next priority to do it all over again. So it's a very customized solution based on the community's needs. We've talked about a lot today, from economic development, the digital equity, to the business and residential, growth, and we just wanted to kick it back to the group and see if there are any questions that you might have that we might be able to answer today.
Thanks, guys. I'll say to the folks watching right now, if you're watching on YouTube, head back to the app or to the conference website to ask your questions there in the Q&A or the chat. Right now, team, we don't have anything there, but we'll give it a few minutes to see if anything shows up.
Great. In the meantime, Katie, do you want to share, a little bit more about the digital equity project that we're about to kick off this year, and some of the partners that'll be involved, and how they're using that solution?
Yeah, absolutely. As we were discussing earlier, we're working in a variety of communities to meet the needs of the lowest income citizens within those communities, but nobody has taken a bigger, more bold step than Montgomery County in supporting an overall initiative with Cincinnati Bell, CareSource, Technovate, and the Dayton Boys and Girls Club, and a variety of other supportive partners who have been working alongside of us, like Dayton Power and Light, to help us get this implemented. And what that initiative is, it's more than a one-off. It's a long-term strategy. So as a part of this, the Dayton Foundation, with the generous support of CareSource, there's a new fund being developed called the Dayton Digital Equity Fund. That is going to help support the long-term sustainability of these initiatives and the growth into the many other housing complexes that can use this sorts of technology. But what the 875 units, the residents, the over 1,000 residents who will be getting Wi-Fi later this next month can expect is that they're going to be able to log into the Wi-Fi within their unit, and they're going to come to a page, a welcome page where they're going to log in, and through that tool, they're going to get access to information that's provided directly to them around any sorts of issues that have been identified by partners that may be valuable. Just for, like I said, social determinants of health. How can we move the needle on anything from smoking cessation to childbirth to getting your flu shot? And so it's a holistic approach. It's unprecedented to have this level of direct communication into some of the communities that are being affected by this. It really opens the door to engage communities and new conversations about how we can support, not only healthcare, but education, job searching, upward mobility. And I think that what we're going to see ideally is that, as the world turns, as we see, we become more connected, and the way we work and the way we teach and the way we learn continues to evolve, that this is just going to be incredibly critical to the lives of people within those residents. And we, obviously, one solution is to do, fiber to the door, but it's just not economically viable. We're working with, old architecture and buildings. The cost of that is so expansive that it wouldn't make sense. It would be too burdensome for the agencies today with their budgets today. So what we're trying to do is offer a solution that gets that high-speed Wi-Fi into the unit, but also doesn't overburden those agencies with the cost of a to-the-door internal wiring solution.
And because of that cost, we are able to put together a model of sustainability going forward. And again, Katie, said it before, thanks to CareSource and the fund they've established with the Greater Dayton Foundation, all of these partners will have the opportunity to be able to engage with people within the Greater Dayton market and use that platform to enhance the lives of the people there. But for that engagement piece, they'll contribute to the fund that will sustain this going forward. So, we're excited and confident that this will be groundbreaking work in terms of the sustainability of public Wi-Fi in public housing complexes. All right, John, I bought you a couple of minutes. Did we find any questions while Katie and I did our chat about digital equity in the Dayton market?
You sure did. We've got some questions here, so great stalling. It was good info too. So Doug asks, what is your planned coverage area for this Dayton area solution?
Great question. And that's evolving. As many of you have probably heard, Cincinnati Bell is being acquired by a company called Macquarie Capital. As part of that acquisition, our funds available for investment in fiber are expanding drastically. So 5 or 10 times the amount of capital available for funding fiber expansion will start taking place, early in 2021. So we're developing those plans as we speak. We have tens of thousands of doors that will be planned within the Dayton market. I can't give you the specifics on where those are located, but certainly we are working on that as we speak to put the plans in place to expand, to tens of thousands of doors in the Dayton market next year. Stay tuned.
All right. Secondly, we've got Dan asking, how do businesses use the Wi-Fi data to make better decisions?
Katie, you want to jump in on that one?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so if you think about a defined business district where people are coming and going, you think about foot traffic. That's the sort of analytics, the Wi-Fi analytics that come through in an intelligent Wi-Fi solution. So, for example, you can understand in a place like the Oregon District how the foot traffic changes month by month, day by day, and hour by hour. So understanding that information can help a business make a data-driven decision about their hours, their staffing, their inventory. So you might find out that Thursday at 4 o'clock is your peak hour. Well, you want a business could leverage that information to increase their sales, or that maybe Mondays at lunchtime actually are just as high as Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but I'm closed on Monday and open on Sunday. So that sort of information just really helps people with long-term planning, but also that short-term. And then furthermore, that smart city that intelligent Wi-Fi technology allows the Oregon Business District Association, in this case, to collect information. So they could ask, about demographics and age and gender and what zip code are you visiting from. And so that intelligence could be used as well. Or they could ask different questions about, what's your favorite thing about the Oregon District, or just information that the business owners would like to collectively learn from their target market, which is the people who are literally walking down the street within the district.
And I'll just add to that, as Katie mentioned, you gather demographic information, and then you can use that to better connect shoppers and visitors to the Oregon District of businesses. So, as a 58-year-old guy who likes cigars, country music, and if I'm logging in and I'm filling out questionnaires and surveys and you learn that information, if a cigar bar opens within the Oregon District, certainly you want to reach out to me. But by the same token, I have a wife and a 16-year-old daughter that certainly are not interested in country music and cigars. But if you had a boutique that opened within the community that sold high fashion clothing, you can now make that connection and you can engage those people based on those demographics to connect them with the businesses. So I noticed when I looked at the attendees for this afternoon's event that there are some people attending from 8451. And 8451 has used that same kind of data to power so much business with Kroger. We're now providing that same capabilities for small businesses within a community that Kroger spent billions of dollars to connect, Kroger and their shoppers and goods and services. Now we're bringing that same power to a small business that might be located within the Oregon district.
Okay, that looks like all the questions we have today. Any closing remarks?
Just a real quick one. I know that I'm all that stands between you guys and a wrap up and some drawings for some gifts. So we don't want to be too long, but thank you for attending. We're excited about our plans to expand into the Dayton market. We see it as an opportunity to drive, economic development, growth, address digital equity. The fiber to the door has been shown in studies to raise property values, anywhere between $2,000 and $5,000 per home that we serve. So certainly we look at that investment as being able to drive increased property values within the Dayton market. Having a competitor always, drives speeds up and prices down, and we're excited to be involved in that expansion. Katie or Ellen, you want to jump in with anything else?
I think that's perfect. Thanks, John.
Perfect. Thanks, John. Thanks, John, for moderating with us today.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate Cincinnati Bell presenting today and also being a featured sponsor for this session also. So folks, remember to complete the survey for each session by finding the link in the My Agenda session descriptions, which is the same place you click to join this session. By participating in the survey, you make your voice heard and are helping shape the future of Technology First events. So thank you for taking the time to fill out that survey. And now, in a few minutes, it's time to wrap up for the day with Technology First. So join the mainstream here and to hear who won prizes. And the game code for attending today's session is Fiber. Thanks so much, and we'll see y'all soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.